Hello, I'm Juan J. Gill here, tonight in Kuala Lumpur, today in Bogota, Colombia, with Jorge Molano, CEO and founder of Exceptional. Jorge, how's it going?
Great, thank you. How's it
Okay, so
going?
what time is it there in Bogota, Colombia?
It's 7:30 in the morning.
Wow, it's kind of 13 hours ahead, no, behind Malaysia.
Yes,
Okay, cool. How is the weather in Bogota?
it's kind of dry and sometimes rainy. So we have all the seasons in one day.
All right, cool. Okay, so today, well, tonight we are going to talk about Exceptional. So you are going to walk us through your journey with Exceptional as an entrepreneur and with your entrepreneurship venture with Exceptional. So now I want to read your bio with the audience. So Jorge is a manufacturing system engineering graduate and Master of Business Administration with a strong focus on business creation and development, sales, people development, processes, and new businesses. More than 2,000 hours creating and facilitating experimental workshops in entrepreneurship, business development, sales, and customer service. Wow, that's amazing. International experience and growth of global companies such as BNI, and a strong leadership of teams of people from different cultures and backgrounds. So you have to tell us about that later on. Management development in project management, training and sales, coach working in business networks, and developer of professional networks and companies, helping entrepreneurs generate more than 5 million USD in sales, entrepreneurship mentor for CESI for more than 5 years. Jorge has his own enterprise in training and advisory on exceptional customer service, building experiential methodologies with clients such as Productos Doña Dicha. Wow, that's an incredible journey. That's an incredible career in business, entrepreneurship. Uh, Please, Jorge, tell us a little bit more about you. How has been all that experience that you have garnered through the years?
Well, it's a summary of seriously just trial and error. I've
Okay.
actually had to go through all these experiences to get to explicitly what motivates me, what makes me passionate, and I think that's why it's so diverse. I mean, I've had experiences leading a law firm. I've been a business developer. I've been many things, all the way from an events organizer to
Uh-huh.
um, even a coach for um, for call centers. So
So you mean that throughout all this year, you've been kind of experimenting different sectors or different things that really compels you, and then you have built and have accumulated different experiences that allows you to create what today is your your entrepreneurship exceptional.
yes, I mean, for me, it's it's more about the journey. It's more about actually having experiences that guide you to the right purpose, to making you more focused, to getting to know yourself, to helping others whilst you're finding your purpose, sticking to other people's purposes, um, and in this whole process, trying to or continuously questioning yourself on
Mm, yeah.
what is it that life is calling you to do.
Like a kind of self-reflection all the time throughout the journey. What would
Yes,
be
very important.
your advice or your best piece of advice for those people that they they really want that need of start out a process, either entrepreneurship or a career, something that is really new for them, but they don't know how to start out. Sometimes they feel like a little bit lost. And normally, so we hear from people that most of us we say we enjoy the journey. So, but how to put it in simple words for those who want to start but doesn't know or don't know where and how to start?
Well, the first exercise that I would suggest people do is sit down in a quiet place and take a pen and paper and write down exactly which experiences you have had in your life that have motivated you, that have made you passionate. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter if it was that you were a chef. It doesn't matter that you were putting brick walls up.
Yep.
It's being very honest. What has created energy in your life? What has motivated you to keep going? And write all these experiences down, and then try to see exactly what this whole thing is suggesting you. I mean, with all these ideas and all these experiences together, you will find that a unique picture appears. You will find that there's a purpose within that. You will find that there's needs within that picture, that there's people that you have worked with, that you have enjoyed working more with. And then you will start to find specific niches where you should be spending more time. And try to see, as I learned before, what's missing in that picture. This was actually a person that I worked with in the past. It's something that I learned from Michael Gerber. He says, always question, always try to find. Yes, always try to find out what's missing in the picture that you see.
Okay, that's great. So we have like recollecting experiences, what make you passionate, which events really created energy for you, to look for specific niches, and basically in conclusion, so what is missing in that picture? Is it right?
Yes, absolutely. That's the purpose. You need to be seeing what other people are seeing as well.
Okay.
Don't care about doing anything, you know?
Yep.
The real entrepreneurs actually see stuff that people already have seen, but they're not doing anything about.
Okay, so they take action.
Exactly. They take action. They start with whatever they have.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, let's jump into exceptional. So please, Jorge, tell us, what is exceptional?
Exceptional is an entrepreneurial project created to transform the state of customer service in Colombia. It's a dream. It's the result of doing this whole auto-reflection, self-reflection. And it's the result of asking myself, what is this life calling me to do? And it's focusing on experiential and practical training in customer service, so that we can actually improve the lives of people serving or being customer service representatives.
Okay, how did the idea of exceptional start out or come to life?
Well, as I mentioned, I had spent many years wanting to start a business, and I had really no idea what I wanted to start. I actually thought it was a restaurant. I actually thought I wanted to start a food business,
Okay.
and I kept trying. I created a logo for a for a restaurant that never begun.
Okay.
And was moving on that direction. I realized that what I needed to do was focus on the training part of of a restaurant. Um,
Right.
I, I actually, I was actually looking at in Colombia what actually is people not doing anything about, and I found that the customer service sector was a huge opportunity. I kept comparing customer service abroad and in Colombia, and I saw that there was a huge gap. So this really brought my attention, and I started to focus on what would be a business project that would have a significant and outrageous goal that I could actually spend most of my life pursuing.
Okay, well, I had a question for you that was that why customer service, but I think that you already answered that. So basically, I think you were trying to catch what was missing in that picture. And for Colombia at that time, it was customer service. Customer
Yes.
service. Okay, great. Uh, So you just told me and told us that you were creating like the logo and everything for a food business, for a restaurant that finally hit in the game. So it's okay for an entrepreneur just to drop an idea and then just to leave it behind.
Um, it's part of the process.
Okay.
That's why we see terms today like the serial entrepreneur.
Mm,
Um, we see people that start many projects and either they sell them, they finish them, or actually just hand it off to someone else. It's
yeah.
part of the process. You need to find out through experiential learning.
Machine learning. Okay. That's very good. So, well, we've been listening to about customer service for a long time now. So, is really customer service an old thing? Is it a modern concept? How has it evolved over time? How do you describe customer service?
Well, I think customer service is in terms of it's an old thing in terms of how everybody has actually been doing it for years,
Yeah.
and since the beginning of what I think is the industrialized era.
Okay.
However, I think through the decades and by applying, the scientific method, it has actually been more quantified. It's been measured more properly and more effectively, and therefore there's more insight and improvement um, in terms of what we see today in the modern stages of customer service.
Okay. That's very interesting. So, I'm very intrigued about this kind of customer service relating or regarding the differences in culture. So you mentioned in your bio that you have experience training different cultures and different backgrounds. So I'm just curious about this. So how many countries has Jorge visited so far? And what is your insight throughout this journey? How does really culture influence customer service?
Well, I've had the privilege of visiting close to I don't know, maybe 20 countries.
Okay.
And culture has a great part to play in the delivery of customer service, since culture predicts and instructs social behavior.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you can change culture, you can definitely change the behavior of society. So if culture within a country is not prone to serving others, probably more selfish, then you will absolutely see this in customer service. It's people serving people. So if the culture is actually making you self-absorbed, selfish, well, that's the customer service that you will see in that country, in that culture, because it's actually a result of the people in that country, in that culture.
Okay. So I love what you said is people serving people. So that's very interesting because so normally we try to understand culture and also customer service through our own lens of our own culture. And then sometimes so we also think or we've told about the buying the experience. Let's say we know that Starbucks is awesome in giving you the experience, but that experience can vary from Bogota, from Europe, from Asia, very much. But we also perceive that reality through our lens and through our own culture. But it doesn't really mean to say that people in a different country is going to experiment it as something that is positive or negative, but is more in tune with their own past experiences, so that we can say uh, that expectations are based on the culture and in the country. So there is kind of no right and wrong. Is it correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's just a state of customer service. Uh, you need a starting point, and that's where you are. I mean, you will always have room to make it a lot better.
Okay, that's interesting. You know, that's sharing just a personal experience. I was really kind of culture shocked when I moved to Asia, and I don't mean to say that. I don't mean to complain, but it was completely different from my experience in Colombia. Uh, I'm not saying better, worse, right or wrong, simply different, but it really can impact you the first time you arrive to a place. It also can fascinate you, or can sometimes you say, well, no, this is not what I really like. But then time passes by, and then you start to understanding why the customer service and why the behavior is like that, and then you feel kind of relieved. Now you're part of the new culture, and then you understand it, and it's acceptable, it's understandable.
Yes, it's you will have a different customer service experience in every single country. Even within a country, you will find that every city has a different, um, atmosphere, environment.
Yeah.
It's within a city as well. You will find different types of people serving in their own way. Within a restaurant, you will find different people serving in different ways. It's as
Yeah,
diverse as people.
totally agree. uh, Part of my own experience, I was trained as a waiter. So, and this is something that I really recommend to many young people that they really want to be like hands-on on business, that they need to start being in the front line, just facing clients, trying to make a good experience. And from my personal experience, I had that through being a waiter. To me, it was a fantastic experience. Unfortunately, that is not that acceptable for different cultures. but at least when I was in my uni in Colombia, it was quite okay, and I really enjoyed it a lot and learned a big deal of what is customer service in my own terms, and also what is really satisfying a client in a business.
Yes, absolutely. The waiter experience is actually one of those experiences that every single person should have, or at least something relating to facing people's needs. You know,
Yeah.
just in front of people who have specific expectations and needs is an experience that you should always look for in your life. I actually I worked in a call center, and most people
Yeah.
came to me saying, I want to have this experience because I think it's very important for my life. And these are people that serve customers through the telephone.
Yeah. Like
So
very cold.
yes, even better when you can actually see everything that this person is communicating, their verbal language, their body language, their verbal communication, non-verbal communication.
Verbal, yeah.
It's very important.
So that's true. Yeah, you also can convey like your your body language also through the phone, even though people is not looking at you because it's
Exactly.
energy.
That's something that they usually say, and it's people can hear your smile,
Okay, cool.
hear your smile.
All right. Okay, Jorge. Now I want to ask you. So, how does Exceptional as a company serve humanity and makes a better world through customer service?
Um, that's a that's a deep question. Um, we start with training. We start with
Yeah.
training people. We start with experiential and practical training.
Yeah.
We we actually train people on, first of all, discovering the power that exists in the encounter between human beings. It's incalculable power.
Okay.
It's um, it's it's something that people don't actually pay attention to.
Hmm. That sounds
There's
very interesting.
tremendous power when people connect, when they meet for the first time, when they're together.
Okay.
And it's an opportunity which most people serving others, they
Yeah.
they disregard. They think it's just a transactional moment.
Yeah.
And,
It make
and
it more awkward.
and we train people on seeing the value of this moment, and we train them in with skills to actually make them more aware and more capable of making the most of these moments.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Do you have some example that you can share with us that we can understand better?
Absolutely, I can remember a waitress that we had. She had been a waitress for 40 years.
Wow.
And I remember she was, we actually conducted a profile test
Mm-hmm.
to see what it was like in terms of customer service. And she was very against any sort of training in customer service. When she found out that we were going to work with this, she said, I was going to quit. That meant that I had to wake up earlier to get to the company,
Yeah.
receive training, and she just felt that it was going to be a waste of time. The only thing that I can remember after the first session of training was that she said, and I actually caught her on video. It's on the testimonial. She said, this actually transformed my life. I learned a lot, and I actually feel that everybody should actually have this training. It changes it changed my view of how to approach customer service.
Wow.
That's something that actually stuck with me.
Yeah, well, that's a very deep human touch in her life.
She was actually in tears. It was like this was too much. I've
Oh,
been wasting my time with
oh,
people that
awesome.
I'm meeting.
Yeah, well, very, very nice experience having this kind of transformation of from these people that just at the beginning they were kind of reluctant, and then you can witness all this like transformation, seeing her in tears and sharing with others what the training has done for her.
Yes,
All right.
and it's an opportunity, and that's pretty much going back to the entrepreneurial project. Um, you need to find things that actually keep pushing you forward, and
Mm.
just having the opportunity of meeting this woman was was actually confirmation that I should keep working with the.
Okay, it's like extra fuel for your journey.
Yes, it's fuel, absolutely.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm just curious about this. Is there or are there any specialties in terms of customer service? Does Exceptional have any specialty when it comes to customer service, or it is very wide? How do you define it? I'm completely ignorant in terms of customer service, and I would like to know more about if we have like categories, specialties, and what is the specialty of Exceptional as a company?
Customer service is obviously applicable in many fields, and customer service is delivered in many ways. So, therefore, you will find customer service attached to technological platforms. You will find customer service applied to different profiles of people. Um, in the very core, what you will
Mhm.
find is that you need to develop the necessary skills in people to actually
Yeah.
deliver exceptional customer service. Then you can just fine tune the training for these people and these channels.
Okay. So is customer service a mindset?
Yes, absolutely. I believe so.
All right. That's very interesting. When you start your trainings and then you want to implement a program within a corporation or an organization or a small business, what is the strategy that you put into action? Is this like something that is top down or bottom up? How is the implementation of a customer service strategy for a business?
It's actually very versatile. You can actually work bottom up or top down. You you will probably spend less time when you
Mhm.
involve the head first, and then work all the way down in the organization. But you
Yeah.
will definitely find organizations where there's people in the bottom, um, being those leaders in terms of customer service, and they have the power to transform the
Okay.
state and the culture of customer service within that organization. But then obviously you need the top, the managerial level people
Mhm.
involved so that they can actually add to this process and not uh, take away.
Okay, so it works in both directions.
Absolutely. It'll probably take less time to get to everybody if you involve the top first.
The top first. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, Jorge, let me switch gears a little bit here and let's talk about technology. This is one of now my favorite topics, something that is very trendy now. So I want to ask you, how do you see the work of user experience and user interface in the app industry? How do you correlate this with customer service, with the typical customer service, and now putting into the app industry?
That's a really good question, Juan. I think that you need the right mindset, which is that customer service mindset to approach user experience, to approach user interface. You need to pretty much put yourselves, as they say, and it's becoming obviously some sort of cliche, but you need to seriously try to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Try to see, feel, understand the world, the way the people that you intend to serve. So you can actually create something that is actually of value, not the other way around. Not because you think this is going to be a very cool improvement. This is going to be excellent for. I mean, we've seen so many examples of technology just created for the sake of innovation, and that's probably not real innovation if it doesn't serve a purpose in solving people's lives.
Yeah,
So,
that makes a lot of sense.
A customer service approach is very important.
Yeah, so trying to dig deeper in this topic of technology. Sometimes, yeah, when I reflect, so it's kind of hard to combine a human need for customer service because all of us we need some kind of customer service or up in one way or another. And then when normally you interact through an email that is very cold, let's say you don't know the person, you can't see the his or her face, but still they're giving you a customer service with an answer or just don't answering you anything at all. So how we combine that human need to feel that our needs are taken care for this for this company in a digital world.
Well, um, my view on this is very attached or close to what I just answered about user experience and user interface. Becoming digital must always happen from an exceptional customer service viewpoint and not from a technology viewpoint.
All right.
So combining human customer service interactions with digital ones are a result of anticipating at which stage and using which approach should this human customer service happen.
Okay, so customer service comes first, then technology.
The means, technology that you're gonna use. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Not the other way around.
Yeah, in a way, we also need to demystify technology.
Yes, you've seen examples of technology being the focus, and these types of approaches, they fade away. They don't last. They're not centered on the person, on the customer.
Yeah, correct.
The industry will pay for what the customer will pay. So if you're investing a lot of money on what people will not buy, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, anyway, it's a business, and then you need to supply the needs of a market that is willing to pay, whether willing or not willing to pay to your services or products.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's cool. So, what would be your best piece of advice, Jorge, for entrepreneurs and managers who want to pay more attention or, let's say, fully embrace customer service within their businesses?
I would actually tell them to start off by mapping, like seriously sketching or taking notes of their customers' needs and expectations. You need to write down what you think your customer is needing and expecting, and actually match these needs and expectations
Yeah.
with your actual product or service, with what the solution that you've created is, and constantly monitor this relationship in terms of performance.
Okay. That's interesting. That made me think of this business model of Canvas, where you have
Yes,
like what you offer, your service offer, you have your clients, your channels, and how you want to keep or upkeep a relationship long term with your customers. Is it?
yes, that's actually one of the quadrants in that business model, and it's the customer relationship. It's the type of relationship that you will have with your customer. You should definitely connect it to the needs
Yeah.
that these people have, and then decide what that relationship will be like. Write it down. Write
Mhm.
down what your customer is needing, and write down what your value proposition will be,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That
and then
makes
match
sense.
through your relationship, through your customer service approach, these two things.
Do you do all of this during your training or your programs when you are engaged or hired by a company?
It depends on their needs. Again, it's it's not one size fits all. I've
Yeah.
always approached companies uh, trying to understand what their state is, what their needs are. I carry out a diagnosis to see what they're actually going through.
Okay.
Maybe the manager is the one needing um, help, training. Maybe
Mhm.
it's the the employees, the ones needing help and training, or maybe it's
Yeah.
everybody. Maybe they need training to change their culture, their mindset.
Okay. So you have like a diagnosis for the company, and then it's like a X-ray, a check reality, and they can face the truth, and they can say, okay, this is what we need.
Yes, and the great thing is that I've decided not to charge for this diagnosis unless it's very complicated and
Uh-huh.
sophisticated.
Oh,
Unless
that's
they
pretty
have
generous of you.
they if they have a very sophisticated process,
Hmm.
I obviously have to take into account the cost of. But I want that to be my my value added from the beginning. Just giving that diagnosis without cost.
Free of charge.
Yes, free.
Well, that's amazing. Okay, so tapping to that point that really is very interesting. So, Jorge, right now you're based in Bogota, Colombia, but I
Yes.
really think that many people around the world would benefit from what you have to tell them and what you have to offer them. So you just mentioned just now that you have like kind of diagnosis that is something that is, if I imagine, is like um, a template, a sheet, something that someone can fill out very easily and then it start this pathway of customer service.
Yes. Just because uh, the people watching this interview actually did connect to it, I'm gonna send them. It's a free worksheet in customer service, which
Okay.
is 10 steps to actually start off mapping out your customer service strategy.
Okay, 10
And
steps to mapping out.
whoever subscribes to this by sending us their email, I'm gonna send them a link to our diagnosis test, so they can get a result on the state of their customer service free of charge.
Wow, that's pretty amazing and generous. So right now from Bogota, so you are ready to render your services worldwide through internet.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So, so yeah, so how these people can reach out to you, those who are interested in starting out a journey in customer service for their businesses. Sometimes people feel a little bit overwhelmed when they start growing in terms of customers, and then the complaints, start building up. I sometimes I just put myself in those people's shoes when I just enter a business and then I see a lot of mess, and I also want to complain, but we also need to understand what is going on, what is happening with that owner or with that entrepreneur, that he or she can feel trapped or in a rat race and don't know how to do it differently. So how these people can reach out to you through which media or whatever, through internet, that they can connect with you and then start receiving this sheet or template diagnosis, as you call it, and start working out their 10 steps to mapping out their needs in customer service.
Well, just to help them take action, I'm gonna actually ask people to send us their email so that we can send them this free diagnosis test, and we can start off from there. We can start off this relationship from a digital point of view, just knowing what their actual state of customer service is. Even if you're a company of one person or many people.
All right, so there's is limitless. There is no boundaries, limits for customer service in a organization.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So, okay, they can connect with you through LinkedIn and also through email, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to add your LinkedIn and email just below this video in the description section for those who are interested in connecting with Jorge and Exceptional and start working out their 10 steps to mapping out and start this journey. That sounds fantastic. So what is
Excellent.
your last invitation for them, Jorge, before we wrap up?
Well, my last invitation and first invitation would be take action, and see exactly how a transformation in the state of your customer service can impact the revenue that you get from your business.
Do you have any experience by how percentage, how much they can increase?
We're talking about more than 200% increase in revenue.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So two times, no, this is three times more in sales.
Yes, and it's common sense. If a person is seriously satisfied with your services, they will
Yeah.
talk to another person about your services, and that's when you will duplicate
Okay.
your revenue.
And word of mouth?
Word of mouth, exactly.
Okay, cool. And I can imagine that this kind of approach is more sustainable in time. So it's something that is solid. It's not that typical roller coaster of promotions that you push out a good deal and then you have like many customers and then the day after you have no customers at all.
Exactly. It's more sustainable. It's more long term. It 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 will last longer in terms of the story will continue because people will keep on talking about you. They will never forget how you made them feel, and it's not that expensive.
Okay.
Constantly coming up with marketing initiatives is expensive.
Okay, so we can compare like in order to attract and obtain more customers, is comparable marketing and customer service in this if we pursue the same goal of attracting more customers?
They're complementary, marketing and customer service.
All
You
right,
should
all
use it
right.
as a complement, not
But
substitute.
you said that customer service is much cheaper.
Oh yes, if you compare cost, um, the cost of marketing is always higher than the cost of training in customer service because you can train people with nothing.
Just with your passion and willing to.
Exactly.
Okay, that's awesome. So, well, two key points here, takeaways. So, marketing and customer service are complementary. Customer service can be implemented with literally nothing. And then we need to start with our diagnose, mapping out, and writing down what is the customer expectation. Did I get
Yes,
good idea?
absolutely. Start off with knowing who you're going to serve. Get to know your customers. Get to know the people that you want to serve and help.
Okay, that's awesome. That also made me think of Michael E. Gerber in his fantastic book, The Entrepreneurial Myth, when he describes how the owners, business owners, they need to go and talk to customers. This is something very overlooked. So
Yes,
normally they are like kind of the technician just behind the counter, just running the kitchen or running just the counter, but they really spend little time talking to people, asking them how was the experience, how much did you like the what you get, I mean the coffee or the muffin or whatever.
yes, that happens when you're obviously a company of one. You're doing everything,
Yeah,
and you forget the most important thing, which is that person that keeps your company running, and it's your customer.
customer. Yeah, totally
Yeah,
agree. Okay,
absolutely.
Jorge, thank you very much for joining me tonight and today there in Bogota. So it's been a pleasure. So a long time since last time we catch up. So
Yes,
I've enjoyed a lot learning about customer service and also knowing about what Exceptional has to offer to business owners and what you have developed as an entrepreneur. So thank you very much, Jorge. I really hope that this is the first meeting of many more ahead. And then, well, that we can continue in touch and sharing this fantastic world of customer service.
absolutely. Thank you, Juan. Thank you again for this invitation, this opportunity, and for those people listening to our interview. Um, do take action. It will transform the state of your business. Thank you. Thank you, Juan.
Okay, goodbye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.